Welcome back to Football Daily, where today we take a look at 10 top players who should be pulled out of their starting lineups and take a seat on the subs bench. Let's go. 10. Romelu Lukaku. Jose Mourinho isn't a fan of rotation at the best of times, but even the Portuguese must be thinking about dropping Romelu Lukaku. The Belgian unsurprisingly looks leggy, with only De Gea and Paul Pogba having played more minutes for United this season. And Lukaku is in some ways the victim of his own fitness, having missed only 8 Premier League matches in the last 4 full campaigns. With 4 goals in the Prem, it would appear that Lukaku is much the same as ever, but all those came in the first 5 fixtures of the season. In the 8 games in all competitions since, the forward hasn't got on the score sheet or registered an assist, and overall he's getting worse service than last year. His shots have dropped from nearly 3 to around 2, and a third of those are headers, which are typically harder to score. Lukaku's also dribbling less. While he completed nearly 2 a game in the UCL last year, now it takes him 3 matches to hit the same number. With Martial, Rashford and Sanchez in the squad, Mourinho has 3 players who've got experience playing down the middle and could give Lukaku the rest he needs in order to get back to his best, avoiding injury at the worst possible time for the special one. 9. Wes Morgan. Stretching the definition of star at number 9 is Leicester City stalwart Wes Morgan, who is one of just 10 players aged 34 or over to feature in the Premier League this season. The Jamaican captained the Foxes from the Championship to Champions, missing just 3 games between 2012 and 2016, and even this term he began the campaign as a starter despite the acquisition of Johnny Evans. However, Morgan is visibly slowing down, and Leicester have the resources now to replace him. His tackle numbers are the same as ever at nearly 2 a game, but interceptions have more than halved from around 2.5 to 1, perhaps indicating that he's slowed down and is forced to make more dangerous challenges. Meanwhile, Evans and Harry Maguire ranked 2nd and 3rd in the squad for interceptions, and coveted youngster Kaglar Sionku, who joined in the summer, was 12th in the Bundesliga in that metric in 17-18. With his contract up at the end of the season, Morgan is halfway out the door already, and Leicester need to say goodbye to a man who gave their club the greatest moment in their history, however much they may not want to. 8. Franck Ribéry. If you haven't watched Bayern Munich this year, you've probably assumed that Franck Ribéry is no longer a regular in the side. Now 35, the Frenchman has averaged about 1,000 minutes per league season over the last 4 years. That means 1/3 of available Bundesliga minutes in each campaign. But in 2018-19 so far, he's played closer to 2/3, a damning statement on the club's other attacking options. Given that he's older than Wes Morgan, it's no shock that Ribéry looks a shell of the man who came in 3rd for the Ballon d'Or 5 years ago. While as recently as 2016, Ribéry was involved in more than a goal a game in domestic play, he's yet to score or assist this season, and his production has fallen so far that Jerome Boateng now shoots more often than him. Troublingly, he's still trying to play like the star he once was. He ranks 1st in the Bayern squad for completed dribbles with around 3 per game, but he now fails with over half his attempts, and as a result, he's dispossessed twice as often as the next most wasteful player at the club. With Kingsley Coman suffering 2 ligament injuries in 2018 alone, and Serge Gnabry still some way off Bayern's standard, the German outfit face a summer in which they lose 2 icons in Robin and Ribéry and see Lewandowski turn 31. Without clever signings, the Bundesliga's one-horse race could quickly become a stampede. 7. Luis Suarez. So we started this script before he scored a hat-trick in El Clasico, making us look a bit silly, but here is out. Luis Suarez doesn't need to be dropped because he isn't good anymore, though with 40 league goals 3 years ago, 29 2 years ago, and 25 last year, he's clearly in decline. No, instead, Barcelona need to figure out how their attack will look once the 31-year-old does take a serious dip, and more specifically, how they want to use Leo Messi. It was always expected that Messi would drop into the Iniesta role as he ages, but the addition of Felipe Coutinho for a club record fee suggests the Brazilian is earmarked for that position. And with Paco Alcácer loaned out this season, there is no recognised centre-forward in the team other than Suarez, except perhaps Messi. As incredible a passer as Messi is, Coutinho, Dembele and Malcolm are all creators more than scorers, and it makes sense that the older Messi could limit himself here to being an elite poacher, conserving his energy by staying higher up the field. If that is the plan, Barcelona should trial it now before Father Time forces their hand. 6. Sami Khedira. While Sami Khedira has only played half the available minutes for Juventus so far this season, the German is still a mainstay of the Bianconeri squad. He spent more time on the field than Federico Bernardeschi and Emre Can, who was intended to be his replacement when the old lady brought him in from Liverpool in the summer of 2018. Can already looks like the superior player in both attack and defence. He takes nearly twice as many shots as Khedira does, with around 2.5 per game. Excellent for a midfielder, and he lays on around 1.6 key chances per match for his teammates. While Khedira is yet to create a scoring opportunity in Serie A in 18-19. The 24-year-old also wins the ball back 4 times a game, again nearly double that of his compatriots' output, and vital in a midfield designed to protect Miralem Pjanic, who orchestrates the team's play. Max Allegri also has Blaise Matuidi and Rodrigo Bentancur at his disposal, both of whom have better work rate than the 31-year-old, and as a result, while Khedira's role was vital in moving Juventus forward from the Pirlo Pogba Vidal days into a new era, sadly his time in the heart of the team looks to be over. 5. Hugo Lloris. Now in his 7th season with Tottenham, nobody could deny that Hugo Lloris has proved to be exceptional value for money. The Lily Whites paid just €10 million for the Frenchman in 2012, with no competition for the keeper from Champions League sides, and over his time in North London, he's made more than 250 appearances. In Spurs' last 3 full seasons, they conceded 97 goals in 114 games, making those campaigns their best 3 defensive performances since the 1970-71 season. Lloris has generally been a solid contributor to that, quick off his line and good at shot stopping, but in 17-18 he made 5 errors leading to goals, the second worst record in the division. In fact, since 2015, he's cost his team 10 Premier League goals, and this season seems no better. Despite lifting the World Cup in the summer, he handed Croatia a goal in the final by kicking the ball against Mario Mandzukic, and in 18-19, he's gift-wrapped a goal for Barca and seen red against PSV in just 3 Champions League appearances. Now 31, Lloris' time as a top goalkeeper may be coming to an end. 4. Marcos Alonso. Tackles and interception numbers don't always tell the whole story with defenders. Defending is usually a team activity, and if a side has a hard-working attack and midfield, the backline is often protected and needs to make fewer defensive actions. However, Marcos Alonso takes inactivity to new heights, recording just 2.3 tackles and interceptions a game this season. That's less than Alex Iwobi for Arsenal. Instead, Alonso is heavily involved in attack, with his 1.8 shots per game ranking him 8th at Chelsea, just behind Willian. That shows an admirable instinct for finding space in the box, but Alonso's lack of pace means that he just can't recover and leaves his backline exposed. So Emerson, signed from Roma in January 2018, seems to be the better choice going forward. In his last season in Italy, he put up 1.4 key passes, more than Alonso's 1.2, completed 2 dribbles to Alonso's 0.5 last year, and won the ball back over 4 times a match. At just 24, the Brazilian is also 3 years Alonso's junior, and will match the Spaniard's attacking output with none of the defensive issues. Time to make a change. 3. Aaron Ramsey. Arsenal are specialists in shooting themselves in the foot, and after losing Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United and being forced to pay Mesut Ozil $350k a week, they're set to set fire to another pile of money in 2019, with Aaron Ramsey leaving on a free. But to be honest, that might be better than the alternative. Ramsey reportedly wanted around $200k a week to remain at the Emirates, and as good as he is, his age and injury record make that a foolish investment. But how good is he really? The Welshman has gained a reputation as an excellent goal-scoring midfielder, and last season in the Premier League he scored 7 and assisted 8 in just 1,800 minutes, meaning he was involved in a goal every 123 minutes, better than Kevin De Bruyne on 128. But he now essentially plays as number 10, with his defensive contributions sliding from over 5 tackles and interceptions a game in 2013-14 to just 2 in 2018-19 so far, making Henrik Mkhitaryan a better defender than the 27-year-old. With an elite number 10 in the squad already in the form of Ozil, and a pressing need for defensive solidity, dropping Ramsey now is the smart way to get used to life without him, and to give the defence more protection. Unfortunately, he's a luxury player who Arsenal literally cannot afford. 2. Karim Benzema. When Ronaldo left Real Madrid, the club's fans, who had spent years pointing out how much better Ronaldo was than Messi, began claiming that Los Blancos would be fine without him. The theory was that Benzema would turn back into an elite goalscorer, as he'd been curbing his natural game to bring out the best in CR7. In one sense, they were right, as the Frenchman has stopped setting up teammates, with 9 Real Madrid players creating more chances than him in La Liga, and his key passes per game at their lowest since he arrived in Madrid in 2009. Unfortunately, his shots from inside the box are lower than ever before too, with just 2 per 90, going down from around 3 in his prime. By comparison, Bale and Mariano are getting off around 5 shots a game, with the Dominican taking more than 4 shots from under 18 yards out. And as a result, Benzema's shot quality has gone way down too. Last season, his average shot, according to expected goals, had a 22% chance of going in, based on its location. This year, it's at 14. With about the same number of dribbles completed as Toni Kroos, Benzema is clearly less mobile than ever before and is in the twilight of a brilliant career. Expect a splurge in the summer transfer market from Real in 2019. 1. Diego Costa. 3.2, 2.1, 1.2. Sorry to hit you with numbers, but those are Diego Costa's shots per game over the last 3 seasons, perfectly illustrating the Spaniard's decline. On his return to Madrid in January 2018, Costa managed just 3 goals in 15 league appearances. And at the time of writing, he's yet to open his account in La Liga in 18-19, bringing up a total of 17 matches without hitting the net in domestic play. 1.2 shots per 90 this season places him 6th in an Atleti squad hardly packed with prolific scorers, and with the goal contribution every 278 minutes across the league and Champions League, Costa is lucky to be keeping his spot over Correa or Martins. And it's not like he's turned into a solid creator either, as his 2 assists in all competitions have come from just 8 chances made, a 1 in 4 conversion rate, which is unlikely to last. With recurrent hamstring issues too, Costa needs to stay fit and rediscover his form quickly if Atleti want to compete for the title or reach a 3rd Champions League final in 5 years at their own stadium in 2019. Right now, football's best villain might need to let another player take centre stage.
There we have it, the end of another exhilarating Football Daily video. And if you've made it to this point, send me a screenshot on Twitter and I'll thank you personally for sticking around. Cheers guys, bye bye.